mountain slopes rising precipitously skywards on either side, the Baihetan Dam lies tucked away at the bottom of a deep canyon on the lower reaches of the Jinsha River. At this section, the Jinsha, which is the name given by China to the upper Yangtze River, marks the boundary between the southwestern provinces of Sichuan and Yunnan. The dam's generating capacity of 16 gigawatts places it second in terms of power after the Three Gorges Dam, far downriver. Together with the reservoir behind it, the project has brought great changes to the lives of local people, including thousands of jobs and much improved access to the outside world. Although China has a vast territory, when national and local policies are decided on, it's people who take center stage. The people-centered development philosophy is an important component of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. The aim of hydropower development is to build a power station to promote regional economic growth, to improve the regional environment and to benefit relocated residents. Development should serve the people and depend on the people, with its benefits shared by the people. To improve people's livelihood and to promote the well-being of the people are the primary goals of relocation and resettlement work in hydropower projects. Chu Yun-shun's family had lived in Baihetan in a gorge along the Jinsha River for generations. High mountains blocked travel between the gorge and the outside world. The rapid Jinsha River made travel between its two banks impossible. For a long time, turning the deep gorge into a thoroughfare was the most urgent desire of Chu Yun-shun and his fellow villagers. In addition to doing his farm work every day, Chu Yun-shun came to the bank of the Jinsha River to measure local conditions. He started doing this in 1993, after several unusual visitors arrived in his hometown.
从古到今，外来人也很少，因为那个路比较狭窄，只有宽的。突然有一天呢，就是他们来了4、5个人，背着背东西，我就感觉到很奇怪，那么我就去看。他说他们是修电站的，他们要制气象，我听着就很高兴。
Since the beginning of the 1950s, research on the hydropower development of the main stream of the Jinsha has never stopped. In the early 1990s, a cascade development plan was drawn up with implementation approved by the State Council. In the plan, Baihetan was the site of the second among 4 cascade hydropower stations built in succession in a downstream direction.
前面不远了。那个一个是上游电站，有时候。
A pre-feasibility study for construction of the hydropower station started. Engineers needed to monitor the climate, hydrology, and other aspects of the river section, and they turned to local villagers for help.
就是他放在地方。
他们就是在我们村庄呢找一个踏踏实实的，给他们气象看好掉。那我就说，我来看，为这个电站服务，为电站建设，也就是多多少少的出一点。
Chu Yun-shun observed the wind because he needed to measure the wind speed and the air temperature. He observed the water because he needed to record the water level. He carried out his 3 monitoring sessions at 8 a.m., 8 p.m. and 12 o'clock each day, recording his findings in a special record book. This was the work entrusted to him by the engineers.
我的文化比较简单，我女儿的文化要 高一点。有很多东西呢都是你那儿教我的。
现象。
既然承担了这份工作呢，再困难再艰苦，我们也要把这份工作呢整好看好点，就是这个道理。
Chu Yun-shun worked every day, regardless of wind or rain, and he never felt tired. What motivated him was the prospect of having a hydropower station built in his hometown. His remote and isolated village couldn't be reached by car. To offer timely feedback to the hydropower investigation and design engineers far away in coastal Zhejiang province, he had to use the Baihe track high on the cliffs to send letters from the post office in the nearest town. The 2-kilometre-long Baihe track has an average width of less than a metre. At its narrowest point, only one person can pass sideways. Under his feet was the nearly vertical cliff, with rocks falling down at times. Every single step required extreme care. Although dangerous, however, it was also the path to his dreams.
国家这么大个工程要建在我们家门口，肯定是件大好事。要是电站建好了，路也就通了。只要路通了，我们还怕过不上好日子吗？
Chu Yun-shun hoped the hydropower station could be built as soon as possible, and dreamed for great changes to take place in his hometown. So he performed his duties conscientiously, sending the results from the post office in the town once every month without any delay.
哎，你好，请问是昆明市人民政府吗？哎，你好。
In October 2010, preliminary preparation for construction of the Baihutan hydropower station officially began, with the approval of the National Development and Reform Commission. Then on January the 1st of the following year, a closure order issued by the provincial governments of Sichuan and Yunnan came into force. After years of waiting, Chu Yun-shun and his fellow villagers got a new identity: migrants of the Baihe-tan hydropower station project. As a key national project, Baihe-tan rose to prominence. Resettlement was its foundation, achieved through a policy of relocation first and construction later. Staff of the Relocation and Resettlement Office, represented by Liu Tso-shun, took on this key responsibility.
所谓先移民后建设，就是要把移民工作放在优先的位置，确保移民群众的利益不受损害，也不能因为移民工作而耽误影响我们的工程建设。所以我们的工作不能等。那我们电站呢，1月1号已经下了封控令，不管是房子还是人口，所有的东西都一五一十的进行调查登记。每家每户都能够有更好的生活条件，大家都有好房子住。
To safeguard the interests of residents to be relocated, a huge and arduous physical index survey was carried out.
哎，大爷你好，和平村2组怎么走啊？
就跟着这个路，这个公路
啊，是往那个拐弯是不是啊？好，感谢。好，谢谢大爷。 到头了吧？
到头。
好，那还8米1。
Population, houses, farmland, equipment. Information on all households had to be objectively and carefully recorded, without any errors or omissions.
好。家里人还不少哈。
9个。
有9个人哈。哦。今天下雨。
The purpose was to provide accurate data for relocations. As his work progressed, Liu Shun became keenly aware of the hardship faced by the people living in the gorge.
只有到人民家里面和了解我们库区受影响的移民群众的真实生活现状与水平，不仅是出行不便，连小孩子上学也不方便。 房子啊很简陋，中间还有很多裂缝，使他们尽早的能够搬离大山，迁入新居，有个更好的生活环境。这就是我们移民工作人员的职责与使命。王大爷好，把这屋顶修理一下，马上就弄好啊。
To relocate local people and to improve their production level and living conditions became the will and motivation of Liu Shun's team. In over a year, the survey completed its measuring and cataloguing of the land to be acquired for the construction of the Baihutan hydropower station. With a total area of 234 square kilometers, the region covered 4 cities and autonomous regions and 9 counties and districts in Sichuan and Yunnan. The total number of people who needed to be relocated was over 100,000. 100,000 residents would not only be relocated from the inundated area, but also lifted out of poverty. Completing the process efficiently and fairly would determine whether the project was able to start on time. The well-being of those to be relocated also depended on it. Moving people out of old villages and building new ones to house them, along with traffic projects, water supply projects, power, telecommunications and broadcast and television projects. The writing and evaluation of hundreds of planning reports required coordination between designers, supervisors and local governments. A complete set of comprehensive and feasible relocation schemes had to be formulated.
所以整个这个移民搬迁呢，是一个系统工程，繁杂而且具体，一定要把天下第一难事做成天下第一好事。
In November 2016, planning for the resettlement of people living in the area to be acquired for construction of the Baihutan hydropower station was finished in the pre-feasibility study stage. Great progress had been made. Liu Shun, however, fell sick because of years of overwork. Suffering from a sudden cerebral hemorrhage, he was admitted to hospital for urgent treatment. Deeply concerned about the success of the resettlement effort, he was eager to get back to work.
继母完成了白海滩水电站的移民可研规划工作，提前对合
Before entirely recovering, he returned to his post.
进行思考。
On July the 31st, 2017, construction of the Baihutan hydropower station was finally approved and relocation began. In order to implement the new development concept, relocation and resettlement stressed full respect for the will of those to be relocated and full consideration of their interests. Their right to information and participation was safeguarded. For every household, signing a relocation and resettlement agreement was still a critical decision that would change the future of the whole family. Xia Yen is a cadre in Huidong County on the left bank of the Chincha River in Sichuan province. After local relocation and resettlement work started, most families to be relocated that she was responsible for signed agreements. But uncertainties over relocation and a deep reluctance to say goodbye to their hometowns inevitably made some people worried. Feng Chaoyang was one of them.
是，他家是重庆村的，在市场上做生意。冯哥，
峰哥，哪谁？
我们是镇上移民办，今天来找你，是说跟你谈一下你们那个移民搬迁这些以前你签订的事情。
很舍不得。这里是生我、养我的故乡，这里有我的童年，有我的一切。
Where to move? How to move? What about the fruit trees and farmland? While the circumstances of each household may vary in their details, the basic concerns were the same. These concerns, in fact, were exactly the issues that cadres of the Relocation and Resettlement Office had to answer and solve. Their job was to help each relocated family to understand the necessity of the process, how they would benefit, and how each and every one of their legitimate rights and interests would be safeguarded.
冯哥，
哦，你怎么又来了说？
是啊，冯哥。就是冯哥，我们就是说。
Gong Xiayan understood that in order to get Fong to sign the agreement, she had to first help him truly understand the policy and interpret it correctly. To achieve this, basic trust must be established first.
我们都住上了小楼房嘛，所以条件的话肯定是比现在要好一些的，就是你可以再考虑下。
那好，以后的会有乱怪，以后的哪里可能有燕子？
During this visit, Gong Xiayan didn't raise the subject of her task.
我说鱼塘一年要产2-3千斤。
Accompanying Feng Chaoyang, who made a living by raising and selling fish, the fish in his fish pond became the topic of their conversation. As they talked, Feng gradually revealed his inner distress. He was worried about the impending changes that would result from his relocation and the future of his business.
刚开始确实是排斥啊，你说要我搬，我也很茫然，心里也很有抵触。
有个朋友呢，他们有一批鱼，天然的绿色食品嘛，然后就12块1斤给你嘛，你看可以不？你在哪里呀？就是上次听说的，你那边不是有一批鱼急到要处理呢
？Gong Xiayan regarded the concerns of families to be relocated as her own. As she saw it, there were no obstacles that couldn't be overcome with sincerity. Feng Chaoyang, who was once stubborn, was moved by this sincerity. As he gained a better understanding of the policy, his concerns were gradually dispelled. The Three Gorges Corporation had also supported local governments to offer fair and sometimes generous incentives to relocated families. The relocation agreement that Feng Chaoyang once resisted had gradually become a reliable guarantee in his eyes.
他们不厌其烦地给我讲解移民政策，也是很不容易。他们很有韧性。 好像是不到目的不罢休那种，所以说心还是有所感触，很佩服他们。
看到不？这儿就是妈妈上班的板房。你不是一直问我，说我们吃好吃的在哪里吃的呢？这个就是我们的信息证，你看得到？这边，后面。作为一个女儿、一个妻子、一个母亲，我每年回家的次数少之又少，对家里面的人的话有太多的亏欠。 你先跑到卫生间去，你自己整的。整的凉水拍到脖子上给会。
10个针后头
不要哭，我们明天或者后天回来看看，好不好？ 我们明天或者后天回来看看，好不好？
Ensuring relocated villagers have a happy life and enjoyable work after they move is the goal of the relocation workers. For this reason, their job continues after relocation is complete. Helping those who move enjoy a better life has always been a goal of hydropower development on the lower Chinsha River. The Shachiaba hydropower station, about 350 kilometers downstream from the Baihutan hydropower station, is the lowest of 4 cascade hydropower stations in the lower Chinsha River. It became operational in July 2014. In 2017, to alleviate poverty and develop industry in the Shachiaba reservoir area, the Three Gorges Corporation and Yi Bin government set up a Three Gorges Seed Fund. This fund had been used to support more than 90 relocated villages in Yi Bin. It was owned and managed collectively by relocated households. Da Tan village in Yi Bin is adjacent to the Chataba Dam. After relocation, Wang Yunhong and a few other village cadres introduced plum cultivation to the village. Many villagers were happy to try it out. Their efforts didn't get off to a flying start. In the third year, which should have yielded a harvest, there was very little fruit on the trees. It looked like the money and time they'd invested would go to waste.
看到人家本地有的果树能够长6、70斤，管理的比较好一点的呢，能够长7、80斤，这就说明不是我们品种的问题，而是我们管理和技术上跟不上。
The only way to improve techniques was to invest more money to conduct more experiments. If the experiments failed to produce results, however, the farmers would not be able to make a living. Wei Hai, a villager who returned to his hometown to start a business, was worried about capital. Guo Wei Hai had been working away from his home village for the preceding few years. After seeing the changes brought about by the relocation, however, he began to think that staying in the city was not the best option.
以前嘛，我们村的年轻人都出去打工挣钱去了。 家里面就只剩下老人和小孩，说实话，我们这里就没有什么发展。现在条件好了，我也想干一点，就是别个村没有的产业，干出特色，干出点名堂来。
Guo Wei Hai's plan was to raise ostriches, which was something completely new to Dartan village. He set about researching and planning, and then procuring and building. Hard-working and energetic, his ostrich farm soon took shape. Starting from scratch, Guo tried his best to control his costs and cover every detail. But he still couldn't scrape together enough money to buy ostrich chicks. The construction of his ostrich farm, which was once in full swing, gradually stopped. Adhering to its aim of solving problems for the people and benefiting the people, the Relocation and Resettlement Office of the Three Gorges Corporation had been keeping an eye on the development of villages it had helped relocate. Its officers soon learnt about the financial difficulties faced by the villagers of Dartan village. Their assistance arrived just in time. The poorest households in the village, who easily met eligibility requirements, were the first to receive help from the Three Gorges Seed Fund. Then Wang Yunhong, Guo Weihai and others applied, one after another. Just 3 days after they submitted all required documents, money was transferred to their accounts.
截止到目前为止，我们山下种子基金已经覆盖了90个村子，7500多农户，平均每个农户累计征收达到了2000元，使35000多受益。
With financial support, Wen Yunhong started to conduct experiments with fertilizing, pruning, and other techniques. The plum trees that once failed to bear fruit have gradually become a very competitive and unique industry for Dartan village. Guo Weihai's first ostriches, meanwhile, have almost grown up. He is sharing his successful experience with other villagers.
这是鹅鸟蛋，你看，一个50个都比一个大，经济价值比你这个好上多了。当时接到种子资金的时候嘛，我还是挺感动的，说这个钱不钱的嘛，都不是最重要，最重要是我感觉到有人在支持我，有人鼓励我，这就是给我最大的动力。干成功了之后，一定要带领大家一起发展这个事业，让大家都富起来，这个就是我最大的心愿。
Poverty is a self-perpetuating cycle that must be broken to achieve rural revitalization and livelihood improvement. The purpose of hydropower development is to benefit the people. Its success with poverty alleviation is a fulfillment of that purpose. To end the intergenerational transmission of poverty, the first priority is to promote the development of education. With the construction of hydropower stations on the lower Chincha River, a series of education assistance projects have also been embarked on.
工程师叔叔说，即便是水电站这样巨大的工程，也是由一个一个小目标，一步步实现才建成的。每个人都应该有梦想，要为了梦想而不懈努力。那么，我的梦想是什么呢？
In June 2019, the Xiaqiaba hydropower station welcomed more than 60 students and teachers from Shulo Middle School in Pingshan County. The event was part of an ongoing long-term program of the Three Gorges Corporation to host educational visits called Children's Journey to the Three Gorges. After arriving, the curious Huang Mingxie and her classmates started their journey of exploration into the super project. For the first time, Huang was able to directly take in the sheer scale and magnificence of the project. Through the introduction, she could also appreciate its benefits to local communities, the nation, and the world. That day, Huang wrote a letter to her older self, 5 years in the future.
虽然我还不知道我的梦想到底是什么，但我要像工程师叔叔说的那样，定下一个个目标。也许那时候，我就知道自己的梦想是什么了。我一定会努力把它实现。
The county of Pingshan, literally meaning mountain barrier in Chinese, got its name because of the mountains that hamper its access to the outside world. It has been a national-level poverty-stricken county for a long time. In April 2012, the Three Gorges Corporation completed the construction of Shulo Middle School here for local people. Most of its students are children of families relocated from the Chiataba Reservoir area, and Huang Mingxie is among them. Every morning at 6:30, Huang Mingxie and her teammates in the school's women's soccer team run 7 kilometers along the banks of the Chincha River as part of their everyday training. Huang Mingxie is planning to take the National Senior High School entrance examination as a student with sports talent. Since she visited the hydropower station, she's seen a series of changes at school, resulting from donations by the Three Gorges Corporation to improve teaching conditions. They've encouraged her, given her strength to chase her dream, to study and train harder. With hope in her heart, Huang Mingxie is motivated to live each day to the fullest and forge ahead towards her goal. Graduation season has arrived. Huang Mingxie is once again visiting the Chiataba hydropower station, where her dream was first ignited. A friendly soccer match is being held at the project's construction camp. For Huang, this is the best graduation ceremony. Just recently, Huang Mingxie was admitted to one of the top high schools in the province and will join one of Yibin's best high school women's soccer teams. Today, she's wearing the uniform of her alma mater's team for the last time, running hard towards the future she's yearned for with her dear teammates.
现在我知道了，我的梦想是做一个体育老师，教那些热爱体育、热爱足球的孩子们，能够去追逐自己的梦想。
我的梦想没有太伟大，只是想当一名普普通通的足球教练，当一名体育老师，想当一名数学老师，一名足球教练，当幼师，当一名护士，当医生，当一个足球运动员。
It takes 10 years to grow a tree, but 100 years to cultivate talents. The future of a country is the dreams of its youth. Jinsha River's hydropower development has always given priority to achieving poverty alleviation by promoting the development of education. To help students from relocated and poor families receive better education, the Three Gorges Corporation has set up 34 Three Gorges inspirational classes in middle schools in counties and cities in the reservoir areas of the lower Chincha River. These serve to promote students' growth and help stop the intergenerational transmission of poverty. Other initiatives include the scholarship program, candlelight operation and access to classroom. Together, they promote the development of education in reservoir areas and continue to brighten the future of children here, providing tuition and strong support for personal growth. Relocation and its accompanying support measures have facilitated the continuing development of the area along the Jinsha River. Progress has reached beyond socio-economic and material conditions. After families relocate, they need to change their living habits and lifestyles, get used to the new social environment they find themselves in, and establish new social relations. This can be compared to the reorganization of a small society. With the right vision, tomorrow can always be inspiring. Chang Zhongfo and his wife moved out of Dachong town in Sichuan's Huidong County to make way for the Baihutan project. Looking forward to moving into their new home as soon as possible, Chang Zhongfo was a frequent visitor to the resettlement's construction site.
原来我是理解法的，这个老年人们、这个农村人民、劳动惯手的人们，一天做起闲不做，这个是事实，确实是事实。
Having seen the new location many times, Chang Zhongfo felt that something was missing. The new apartments were of good quality, but his old neighborhood gave him a strong sense of community. This gave him the idea of organizing an arts group for the elderly.
但是我的家就在这个金沙江的中间。
Because of his love for music, Chang Zhongfo organized an arts group for the elderly in 1996. Playing music in the community was a great pleasure. Now, his fellow group members had moved to different resettlement sites, but Chang Zhongfo did not want to lose the joy he had found in the past.
我搬在小杂货来，我看到那么多人，可能有些喜欢文艺，可能有些喜欢乐器，想组织一支文艺队，对老年人的精神生活有很大的帮助。 老师，等下嘛，请你帮我打2张歌单嘛。
Chang Zhongfo is organizing a new arts team for the elderly at the resettlement site. Anyone who loves music can join the group, and even those who've never played musical instruments are welcome. Chang's new community will come with new neighbors and new friends. Everyone can have a lot more fun by studying and playing music together. The new buildings at the resettlement site are about to be completed, and Chang Zhongfo is busy again. He's reached out to some of his old fellow group members and invited them to coach the new players. Completing a performance together and regaining the joy they once had will be the best way to celebrate their new life. Saying goodbye to the past is not only the end of the old, but also the beginning of a new chapter.
在公证人的监督下，由主持人播报户主名字。
At the end of 2020, residents from the reservoir area of the Baihutan hydropower station are moving into their new apartments one after another. Facing the future, they bid farewell to their former homes, making their own contributions to the construction of the motherland. In Chaotia County, Yunnan Province, more than 700 brand new buildings stand in 8 resettlement sites. Altogether, they will provide new homes and lives for over 17,000 relocated families. Chung Wen-go is a local who's used his camera to record the great changes to his home area.
乔家现在每个百姓都很关心北河滩电站的建设，因为北河滩电站的建成，对我们乔家的发展向前推进了10年、20年，甚至30年。虽然我不是移民，但是我们都生活在乔家这片土地上。 我们都是北河滩电站建设的受益者。
about 50,000 people in Chalkia County had to be relocated, accounting for nearly half of the total population to be moved out of the Baihetan reservoir area. A family photo taken in their new home is Chang Wang-go's housewarming gift for relocated families.
我来把头饰戴上啊！好好，谢谢谢谢。漂漂亮亮的照，漂亮不漂亮？漂亮漂亮漂亮。
身子不要靠在背上哦，面带微笑，看过头顶，1、2、3。
Chang Wang-go and these relocated families got to know each other long before the official start of the relocation. The buildings they were moving out of housed their ancestors for generations before. So Chang Wang-go also took family photos of them in front of their old houses, preserving memories of the moment the photos were taken.
老人家看到很刺激。我是一个摄影人，生活在乔家这片土地上，正赶上乔家迁在南方的发展时期。有发展就有改变，有改变，作为我们摄影人就应该把它真实的记录下来。1、2、3个，你们要高兴的时候要笑个，要笑起来。哦，2、3，起子。对。过个10年。20年、30年，展示给后辈子孙看，他们的前辈曾经的生活环境和生活方式和他们现在有什么不同。照片是最简单的、最直观的表现。
As a river never stops running, time continues to pass. 2 photos bear witness to changes in the lives of relocated families. The changes in these lives bear witness to the changes of the era. Tunnels have been bored through mountains. Roads have been paved along their slopes, and bridges have been strung across the vast gorges in between. During hydropower development of the lower Tinsha River, 106 classified highways with a total length of 1,070 kilometers have been rebuilt, along with 130 docks for ferries, and more than 476 kilometers of village roads have been built or expanded. Courier tracks high up on cliffs have become a memory of the past for Chu Yung-shun since he moved to his new home, alongside his resettled neighbors. The dream he cherished for a long time has been realized. One day, an old friend pays him a surprise visit.
终于来了，今天。
那一香啊！哦，兄弟。
Chu's dream of more than 20 years supported a commitment that he kept for more than 20 years. During this time, the more than 200 letters he sent to the project engineers far away in Chuxiang enabled them to complete their planning. It was a lengthy and involved collaboration.
这么多年，虽然没有再见过面，但是通过时间的积累，慢慢通过这个书信往来，我们其实有了一份特殊的情感。这个也是白鹤滩工程给我们带来一个人生共同的一种回忆和情感。
After 28 years, almost everything has changed. What remains the same is the two men's commitment to building a better life for locals along the Jinsha River, and the friendship they built while pursuing this common goal. At the beginning of April 2021, relocation work for the Baihutan hydropower station was completed, making way for the vast reservoir. 3 months later, the first units of that capacity went into operation. Since the launch of the Physical Index Survey in 2011, the project's relocation and resettlement work has taken 10 years. Crossing 1,000 mountains, speaking 1,000 words, overcoming 1,000 difficulties, eliminating 1,000 risks, relocating 1,000 families, and benefiting 1,000 generations. The so-called spirit of the 6,000 is an ideal that all those engaged in resettlement work have adhered to.
人的一生很短暂，但是能够做成1件或2件的实事或大事儿，是我一辈子的幸福。我们60、70年代出生的人呢，有一股做事业的韧劲或憨劲。既然选择了水电事业，我们就抱定此生伴随江河行走的决心或意志，风雨兼程，无怨无悔。
People are the creators of history, the true heroes of an era. Engineers, local cadres, and relocated residents have worked together to forge a mighty hydropower station that carries their dreams. The development of a great nation does not happen overnight. Feelings of love for the motherland have become a powerful force to carry the dream far into the future, as they have done over thousands of years of history. Over a decade of untiring commitment, those engaged in relocation and resettlement work have met the expectations of the country and won the trust of the 100,000 locals they have helped move into new homes. After 10 years, their longing for a peaceful and prosperous life has been fulfilled.